fine. She's getting up and moving. All right. Good evening once again. I know, same shirt, same scenario for 3 videos in a row. I've done 3 videos tonight. This video will go up on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. So I'm just trying to get some content done here and get things taken care of. So you will see this video on Thursday at 7 p.m. What we're going to talk about is items that will become luxury items after an S.H.T.F event. Good things to stock up on. I'm a big believer in stocking up on these things, and we will go, and their value is a trade item in a true S.H.T.F situation. Okay. So first one we're going to talk about, and I think this is probably one of the most important things, is first aid items. Having medical supplies is going to be huge. The more medical supplies that you can have, of course, me being a nurse, that's my number one thing, right? But it really is important. When I cut my hand, and I got the nice little scar through here on my hand. When I cut my hand, I was like, oh, I got a decent amount of supplies as far as bandages and stuff like that goes. And what you realize really quickly is how one minor injury, right? The dressing needs to be changed twice a day. How quickly you're going to go through supplies. So I think that it's really, really important that you stock up as much as you possibly can when it comes to medical supplies, bandages, antibiotic ointment, all those type of things, gauze, tape, ace bandages, you name it. If you can think of it, over-the-counter medications, all that type of stuff. Stock up as much as you possibly can. It will make life much, much easier in a true S.H.T.F situation. And if you have a large surplus of it, it will make a big difference when it comes to, having medical supplies when the time comes. So definitely encourage you to do so. All right. The second one we're going to talk about is hygiene items. And a lot of people, it's not all glitzy and glamour with hygiene items, but having deodorant, having some medicated foot powder if you have any kind of athlete's foot or anything like that. If you have a problem with warts, those type of medications as well, that could go under meds as well. But having different things available to be able, shampoos, those type of things. Shortly thereafter on an S.H.T.F situation, they're not going to be making any more. Soap, people can still make soap, yep, sure. But, if you have a decent stockpile of soap and it's got a nice scent to it or whatnot, not a bad thing, right? So definitely get your hygiene products, items. Ladies, obviously, tampons, those type of feminine hygiene products, really important to make sure you're stocked up on those. Because the reality is this, once those items run out, you'll be using rags and those type of things. And, you want to put that off as long as you possibly can. The next thing we're going to talk about is razors and shaving cream. Obviously, I shave my head, so I like having a razor to be able to do that. I could always get a straight razor and use that and resharpen a straight razor. But while I have razors available to me, I would, rather use razors if I can. So again, that's something else that you need to think about ahead of time. Having those stocked up on. I'm sure there's plenty of ladies out there would kill for a nice razor after an S.H.T.F event to be able to clean themselves up. Okay, just a thought. And again, we're talking luxury items, folks. We're not talking, oh, I have to have these. But these are things that are going to make your life more comfortable. And as normal as we can keep things in a true S.H.T.F situation, the better off we're going to be. All right. Next one, pet food. If you have cats, dogs, whatever, if you don't have it stocked up really, really well, you're going to run out fairly quickly. Then what are you feeding your animals? So you have to think about those type of things as well. Plan accordingly for them as well. All right. Next one, let's do seeds. Seeds are huge. Until the next crop harvest grows, and you can collect the seeds off of that next crop. If you don't have seeds, what are you planting? What are you growing? So making sure you have plenty of seeds, plenty of variety of seeds right now is going to be really, really important in the big picture of things, to make sure you're in a good position to be able to survive long term, because we're going to be, and I've said this before, we're not going to be hunters, we're going to be gatherers and growers. So having the seeds ahead of time, making sure that you can grow and have those plants growing, is going to be a huge important thing, and then you better be collecting seeds every season thereafter. Okay. The next one, I would say matches. Matches and lighters kind of goes hand in hand. Making sure you have plenty of ways to be able to start fires. If we have to go back to the old bow drill down the road, then we got to go to that level. Or flint and a spark. But as long as I can, I would like to be able to have the lighter in my pocket and just fire it up. That's just me, maybe, but those are things to think about. Let's talk about the next one. Let's talk about cigarettes, right? A lot of people smoke. So you can get cigarettes, store them in a freezer. It's going to keep them fresher that way. But cigarettes are going to be a huge barter item, and a good thing to have in a true S.H.T.F event. Again, it's a luxury. The next one along with that would be alcohol, liquor. Having different types of liquor that you had from back in the day, again, that's going to be a luxury. Will people have stills, and will people still make booze? Of course they will. But if I could say to you, hey, I got this Jack Daniels from 10 years ago when things were normal, you want to do a shot of that? People are going to be like, absolutely yes. It's going to take them back to that time frame. So, and again, another really good barter item to have, but also a luxury. Next, we're going to go with batteries. Batteries are important. Again, I've talked about this, actually I think in the last video I talked about batteries and how important batteries are. Great barter item, number one, but also, in my opinion, rechargeable batteries are the only way to go. Because again, let's say you have rechargeables and somebody wants to come and they want to barter with you, all right? And you say, okay, well, I give you these rechargeable batteries, I'll trade you XYZ, and when you wear them out, come back, and for, a nominal fee of some sort, I'll charge them back up for you. Real easy. It's a great way to have that system going, and then, people would definitely want to make sure that they can come to you to be able to recharge those batteries. But again, rechargeables are the only way that I go. Next one is going to be propane. Propane is a big one, folks. Think about how many times that we use propane for heating, cooking, all those type of different things. People are still going to want to have that. And so the more of it that you have on hand, the better shape you're going to be. That's one of the things we have, a decent amount on hand right now here at the homestead. But as people put more places in place, it's another thing that I'm going to encourage them to do, is get stocked up on propane, not only for their own use, but in case of a S.H.T.F event. The more that we have on hand, the better off we're going to be. The next one would be candles, and we talked about candles last time. Now, true, there will be people that know how to make candles in an S.H.T.F situation, so there may be availability of getting candles down the road, but you better know somebody that knows how to make candles, number one, and number two, have something to be able to trade with them to get those candles. If you have a whole bunch of candles stocked up ahead of time, again, can be used as a barter item, and it's also a luxury item to have as well. The next one is going to be vehicle fuel. I can't begin to tell you how important having plenty of gas on hand is. Making sure that you have a stabilizer that's going to extend the life of that gas out, because it's only going to last so long. All right, that's a fact. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The best case scenario that we could hope for is getting a 2-year window on that gas. You would be using it very sparingly depending on how much you had, but the more gas that you have on hand, the better situation you're going to be in an S.H.T.F situation. Right now, while it's not an S.H.T.F situation, make sure you have that gas. Make sure you're rotating it out every 6 months. You don't have to add stabilizer if you're doing that, okay? So something to think about there. Next one is going to be coffee. Now, I'm a big believer in freeze-dried coffee. I have freeze-dried coffee right over here, okay? Freeze-dried coffee is going to have a 20-year shelf life, open or unopened. It's a great thing to have. And in an S.H.T.F situation, you're not going to be getting coffee anymore. We're not going to be making trips down to Columbia to get coffee, to get your Folgers, okay? So being able to have a cup of coffee is going to absolutely be a luxury. It's going to be a great thing to be able to do, you know, even 6 months out from an S.H.T.F event, to be able to have a cup of coffee. So definitely something that I would highly recommend stocking up on. But if you're going to get coffee, get the freeze-dried coffee because it lasts so much longer. All right. Next one is going to be salt, and a lot of people don't think about salt. Salt is very important. You know, they add iodine into salt because we don't get iodine naturally in our diets, and we need the iodine in our diets. So I keep a lot of salt stocked up. I think it's hugely important. So I would definitely encourage you to make sure you have, and it's cheap. Salt is cheap. So definitely stockpile salt as well. Let's see. I don't know if I did this one or not, but I'm going to say it. I don't believe that I did. Sugar. Sugar is another item. You know, unless you have, you know, the beets that you can get sugar from that, sugar is a luxury. And so, you know, that is another thing that I would highly recommend that you have. It's a good thing to have on hand and stockpiled up. It may get hard, but you can get it to soften back up with no big deal. And sugar is definitely a good thing to have. Along with sugar, I would stock up molasses as well, because then you can take that white sugar and make it into brown sugar by mixing the molasses into that sugar. So again, another option for people to use it that way. Next thing we're going to talk about, toilet paper, right? Who remembers when the pandemic and everything happened, what was the one thing that was completely short on, and that was toilet paper. It was crazy. You wouldn't have thought that people were going nuts to get toilet paper. So, and again, it's a luxury item, absolutely. But as long as I can do it, I want to be able to use it and have it, and along with toilet paper goes Kleenex, even paper towels. I keep all of those stocked up because I like those luxuries. I want to keep having those luxuries. So there's a list of things here, guys, just to share with you, give you an idea. Things that are very common right now, that we can get very easily right now. But in an S.H.T.F event, a true event, they're not going to be available. So whoever has a whole bunch of those is going to be in the driver's seat, right? Or the catbird seat, as we like to say. To put yourself in a position where people would be like, basically trade whatever you want to get that luxury item. You know, so good things to think about, good things to have, good things to plan ahead for, and I think that, you know, we should all be doing so. All right, so I'm going to jump off of here for now. Remember, folks, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we truly will be in much better shape. Also remember, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important to tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one stopping you from achieving your goals is you. That's it, nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. I hope you all have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Prep Nurse 1, out for now.